This woman suddenly notices that their neighbors are moving in a panic. They decided to go out and say hello, but the neighbors saw them as if they were monsters and turned and ran away. They went out into the street, finding neighbors to the right and to the left fleeing in dismay. It was like everyone's running away from something terrible except them. At this moment, they don't have time to think too much. The family packed up their things and followed them out of town. But on their only road out of town, they saw a lot of cars heading in the opposite direction. Why were all these people running back again? Until they reached the end of the road, only to find out that the government has blocked the only way out of town. They were told to return to their homes and wait for news. They had never seen anything like it. They didn't know what was going on here. Just then, a rock from the cliff fell on their car. They followed the sound and looked up towards the top of the mountain. They saw that the whole mountain was shaking violently, as if it were a beast about to awaken. Suddenly, two jet fighters came roaring out from behind the mountain. They flew over the town. Without warning, they dropped several incendiary bombs. The whole town was in flames in an instant. Everyone present was stunned by the shock. At that moment, the two fighters were flying in their direction again. People were scared and ran away. A family of 3 also ran towards the top of the hill, because Ellie knew there was a little-known shelter. It wasn't long after they ran that the place that had just been packed with people was blown into flames. It seems the government didn't want to leave anyone alive. They rushed to find the entrance to the shelter, and then the 2 planes came back this way. Just as they closed the hatch, the bombs exploded over their heads. After a while, Jack discovers that the shelter has a huge amount of living supplies stored in it. But what was going on out there? They don't know. Their first priority was to survive in the cellar, and so they spent a whole year here. During this year, they got used to life in the cellar. They chained the entrance tightly, because they knew that the outside world had been taken over by an unknown creature, and they may be the only living survivors in the world.